The Pisces moon stimulates the need to dream, to visualize, to create, to use imagination, but also to escape. And it's that form of escapism that can be problematic. During this cycle, you're very sensitive and vulnerable to the influence of others. And because of that, your compassionate nature can be exploited or taken advantage of. It's your relationships that take center stage, and they are the motivating factor behind your moods, your decisions, and your actions. And it's possible that these close connections to a lover or a partner become very significant. They provide that sense of security and support. And likewise, you'll find yourself being more understanding, more willing to help others. And this can be any kind of relationship where one of you has more knowledge, expertise, experience, status, power, or control. And the dynamic is one in which one of you is the giver and one of you is the receiver. This could even be a long-standing relationship where someone needs more support, whether that is emotionally, financially, or physically. And so naturally, the stronger partner will be in a better position to make decisions or handle problems. And this can be a time frame that for various reasons you benefit through a partner, financially, emotionally, intimately. Now, if one of you is dependent on the other for stability and structure, this can be fine. But it can also lead to dependency issues when that arrangement starts to kilter. This can manifest as opposite roles, stronger versus weaker, traditional male-female roles. And it's possible that there's an expectation for you to stay in your lane. So if you're the weaker partner, you'll tend to adapt to the expectations of the other in order to please. Or you'll start to rebel against his or her influence. So this time frame can also highlight relationships that are unequal in some nature, out of balance. And in some cases where you may be afraid to leave because of the repercussions, whatever those may be. So these are relationships that are characterized by excessive jealousy or possessiveness, or there's a lack of trust between you. And this time frame can bring about increased fears of abandonment and infidelity. If your relationship is already unstable, the tension right now is likely to increase. One of you may feel that the other's career or their ambitions or responsibilities puts limitations or delays or schedules on the relationship. Or maybe there are issues of irresponsibility, or maybe your relationship has devolved into merely a work partnership more than anything else. Some of you may view the partner as a responsibility. Maybe you feel hampered or restricted by a relationship. Or maybe there's a problem being spontaneous with your partner. Others of you, there's difficulty adjusting to the responsibilities and the roles required of marriage or a committed relationship. So over the next week, if you do experience confrontation, those disagreements will tend to be more emotional, and your feelings can be more easily manipulated. It's hard to be objective, and you may find yourself in a struggle over power, money, or sex, where control issues will trigger tactics of fear and manipulation in the attempt to gain advantage. And in many cases, money is the tool for that control. On the other hand, it can be a challenge for you to look at your situation in a detached way, especially if you're viewing it through the lens of the past. Maybe it's a former negative relationship that's made a deep impact and you never got over it. And as a result, it makes you, on the whole, overly strategic, fearful, cautious, or cold in dealing with others. But if you really want intimate connection, you will have to work through those old traumas and unresolved issues. In fact, this is a cycle with lessons that involve the proper use of sympathies. And for some, this centers on motherhood or important maternal figures. There's a tendency to lead with your heart, and this can serve you well if you're in a true love relationship. If that's the case, this could be a time where you bond more closely, your relationship becomes deeper, you're more physically and emotionally connected. You may be inexplicably drawn to certain individuals, and one relationship in particular. And this is the relationship that offers you the opportunity to face your fears, deal with insecurities, and address some psychological complexes you may need to work through. If you've just met someone or you're in the initial stages of dating or relationship, obviously getting your needs met will be important. And if you don't feel a certain level of emotional reciprocity, that relationship will feel emotionally draining because of the unmet expectations. And you have to ask yourself, why are you choosing to stay in a non-productive relationship that offers very little potential? Aside from intimate partnership, you're also focused on public recognition and social achievement. And some of you, maybe you have talents in a vocation that caters to women. Whatever it is, it's about assertively following your own path, the ability to work independently of the view of others. And for some, that path includes empowering those who have no voice, or working with unacknowledged groups of individuals. In the larger scope, perhaps in the media, this is going to bring about someone forceful or abrasive and put them in the forefront during a period of blind or angry obsession. But more personally, you're making major decisions that might involve career, marriage, leaving home, moving to another country, or making a total lifestyle change. And if you've prepared a foundation, this could be the time that opportunities start to arrive so that you can reap the benefits. And you might enjoy some measure of popularity that puts you in the spotlight, whether that's great or small. You might receive favors from older people or have fortunate dealings with others. So it's a good time to network, to make business connections now in order to plan for future career developments. You might even do some training that would help you move forward. And for some of you, this is going to bring a managerial role or put you at the head of a project that gives you considerable power, but also greater responsibility. Maybe you're a team leader or you're involved in action-oriented activities. And whatever you're dealing with makes it important to maintain faith in your skill set, but also have an awareness of your personal abilities, and that includes the limitations. So you or others could be insightful and brilliant, but maybe struggle with the darker side of human nature. And that can show up as the ruthless entrepreneur or the persuasive orator. Now, personally, if you're not making advancements, You'll feel frustrated about that lack of success. And if you don't play an active role in the decision-making process, your work could become more tedious, detail-oriented, repetitive, or involve more paperwork. And that is the very thing that has potential to cause discord. The overall focus is on bringing order to chaos with words or actions. The assigned card for this moon is the Ten of Cups, and that connects with the message of love and partnership that has expanded into marriage, home, and family, longing to be close, peak emotional experiences, and the successful achievement of an important goal. So you might be concentrating on the overall well-being of you and yours, and the realization of your hopes and dreams brought about through the efforts of cooperation and teamwork. Because you find it a whole lot easier to compromise right now, especially if there's a larger issue at stake. And so you could be getting some good news. Maybe you're spending good times together with others, people you love and care about, friends that feel like family. So if things are going well, maybe you're purchasing a new home, or you're making a major expenditure, or you're taking that dream vacation. It might be that people that are closest to you are lending support. They're giving you encouragement for a new business venture, or maybe social contacts lead to opportunities that bring in new clients, customers, and capital. Could be a windfall that comes through a partner and it's shared with you. Some of you are going to get money through an inheritance, insurance, a settlement, legal action, or maybe a joint financial venture. Others of you, maybe you get payments through profit sharing, retirement funds, or royalties. And still, there may just be some happy occasion or celebration to give thanks. You find greater harmony within your relationships. You're building on trust, or maybe you're developing a good parent-child relationship. And if there have been emotional breaches in the past, this could be the time that you work on healing those. But negatively, you can experience problems at home or in the relationship. And this could be, causing marital conflict. Maybe it's the loss of a friendship. Maybe you're dealing with issues of incompatibility regardless of the nature of that connection. So you could have some family disagreements or excessive demands from your children. Maybe you're dealing with adolescent rebellion, or your family routine is unsettled, or there are unexpected emotions tied to suddenly having an empty nest. So for some, given the complex nature of the situation, the resolutions appear to be hopeless, especially if you feel like the people who should be supporting you are the very ones that seem to be deliberately undermining what you thought was a mutual interest. In some cases, it might be, meddling, interference. Something happens that brings a rude awakening because maybe there was that need to be needed, and it brought on a temptation that actually ended up becoming a huge problem. So in effect, the goal is some kind of achievement, a desire for success, for recognition, personally or professionally, and how you go about trying to get that either creates or costs you that success, because karma is now at play tied to your value system and relationships. And what occurs links to endings, conclusions, and finalities with the influence of the group on the individual. Fortunately, these are endings that carry the potential seed for new beginnings.